Silence is weird, Danny. I mean, I spend so much of my day trying to find silence, especially for these videos. Some days it just seems impossible. I live in a giant city where there's noise everywhere. So there's this really cool YouTube series called The Art Assignment where artists try to make you do things out in the world to be artistic in some way. And there was this really neat one by Jace Clayton. What he wanted everyone to do was try to find the quietest place that you possibly can within walking distance from your house. And I'm gonna try to do that today. And when I originally thought of doing this art assignment, I thought of like parks and other places that I thought might be quiet. But Jace made a really good point that sometimes the quietest places are really mundane. A woman found that the quietest place for her was in a party store. And I know the beautiful places out there, like all the parks and with all the trees. But now I would like to find the quietest mundane place close to my house. And I may not find the most silent place possible because it's not like I live in a forest. But the point of the project is to just find the quietest place possible. And I'm going to try to do that just by walking and not using public transportation. So let's go. Danny, this is why we can't have nice things. Construction. So I have just left my house, and now I'm letting my ears guide me because that's how the project is supposed to work. And so far, there is a lot of sound. And there's construction, and there are cars, and it is the middle of the week for the college that I live next to. And I don't know how I'm going to be able to avoid this. Sometimes I forget how many hills the city has, and then I start walking around and realize that I should have planned out a route, maybe. So now I'm just walking up a bunch of hills. Also, I wonder if wind counts as sound, because I can hear it in my ears, but that's really just because it's the wind blowing past my ears. It's not really the wind's fault, more my ears' fault. It's gonna be a lot harder than I thought. I am walking up the hill, up the hill, up the hill. So I found an abandoned house, except I can still hear bark from here. That doesn't work. I have to go to other places now. I thought I was so close. Now I'm walking down the hill, down the hill, down the hill. There's a principle in science called the conservation of energy. I don't know if you've heard of it, but in that principle, everything gets converted or conserved in terms of energy. And the thing about sound is that it's one of those types of conversions from energy, is that when something happens, part of that energy is lost to sound, which is really cool. Except that I'm realizing that a lot of energy starts to get converted to sound this way because there's sound everywhere. And you never really realize it, like cars driving by. You never really realize it because you are just walking around and so you're just so used to sound. But it's really hard to avoid and escape. And I'm finding it very elusive at the moment. Okay, we're gonna try a different hill because, as I have learned, cars do not like hills. They apparently have a hard time going up them, which is funny because I also have a hard time going up them. You know what makes walking up this hill a lot better? It's when you get to almost the top and one of your favorite flowers is here. This is jasmine. Hedwig? Okay, so it turns out I was wrong about the hill. It was not the quietest place ever. And some lady looked at me like I was crazy. Okay, after about a half hour walking around, I may be getting close. I don't know if birds count. I think birds count. But if they don't, I'm getting pretty close. You can tell how quiet something is, but just how loud your footsteps get. And if that's the only thing you can hear, well, you're getting pretty close to quiet. I thought that the giant sundial park was going to be the quietest place, but I can still hear traffic. It turns out that this roundabout that I happen to be on is the quietest place that I can find near my house. I can still hear traffic, but this is definitely the quietest place around me that I can find. Danny, happy 4th of July, and I will see you Monday. When trying to find silence, make sure to take your transit card so you don't have to walk 2 miles home.